Hey everybody, let's talk about astrological aspects in March. Woo! Well, actually I'm not going to do aspects. This is just things that are shifting. I'm going to talk about the planets that are shifting. I usually do it in my Taroscope report, but I'm not going to lie to you, it's actually a lot easier just to do one video with all this information. Then we can concentrate on the moons, your personal sun sign moons, and the tarot. So, first things first. Venus is going retrograde from March 4th until April 15th. Now, we have talked about retrogrades before. Retrogrades are just a time of introspection. The planet looks like it stopped, Venus looks like it's stopped in the sky. I'm sorry, it looks like it's going backwards. We're off to a great start. It looks like it's going backwards, but it's actually stopped in the sky. That's the thing. And she's going so slow that it looks like she's not even moving. And yes, it is a she. So, what does that mean? When it's Mercury retrograde, we all know that communication goes to shit. And we're like, we don't know what's going on, transportation, blah, all the Mercury stuff. Well, this is Venus. Now, what's Venus all about? She's the goddess of love and beauty, yeah. And she rules our relationships. She rules our art. She rules our values. So with her going retrograde, it's not a great time to start a new relationship because she's not seeing straight. It's not a great time to get engaged. It's not a great time to start a new partnership. It's also not a great time to start a new creative project. I know. But here's the thing. It's a good time to reignite with a lover. It's a good time to get remarried. It's a good time to review and sort of revamp an existing or old project. But mostly it's a good time to review what we consider valuable in our lives. What is of value to us? Yeah, right? I mean, it's so deep that I even had to take a pause. And if you're ruled by Venus, if you are a Libra sun or a Taurus sun, it's going to affect your external a little bit. It's going to affect your ego. Your ego, but it will. So, what else can I tell you about Venus retrograde? Oh, the reason, yeah, we'll talk about the reason why, like, when you meet, you don't want to start a new relationship because it's almost like Venus has on drunk goggles, for lack of a better term. She doesn't really see things clearly. It's like you're idealizing romance. You're idealizing the person. And the same goes for creative work. It's almost like you're making it and you're so fixed on the aesthetic of it, Venus, retrograde. You're seeing it from an internal point of view as opposed to an external point of view. Venus doesn't have that energy out to help you. That when Venus goes direct on April 15th, well, that's whenever all of a sudden you're going to be like, whoa, this is not at all what I thought it was going to be. And people, it just won't be as well received, I'm sorry to say. So there's that. But there are good things to it too. It's actually a really good time to just get in touch with your personal relationships. Go in there, all those retrograde words, reassess, re-envision, realizations, reunite. Oh, lovers, come out of the woodwork. Yeah, you might just find yourself like, hey, ex blank friend. That could happen. And that's actually a really good time to do it. Like, I don't know, business partners might come out. And the reason business partnerships, you don't want to start a new business partnership because, when you start a partnership with somebody, and I'd love to, it's all based on trust and truth and a very clear vision. When Venus is retrograde, her aesthetic vision isn't quite so clear. So, and of course, it's just a period. It's a transit. Life is just a series of transits. I'm going to flip my footstool this way because I like this side of my face better. Great. Moving right along. Oh, let's talk about Mercury. So Mercury is killing it this month. He's been in Pisces, which is a very emotional sign. We've been thinking emotionally and very ethereally. Like a lot of the times you just haven't had words recently. Actually, I lied. He's been in... No, that's right. I'm not lying. I just have, there's so much to talk about, and I have a whiteboard, and I'm like, okay, this is the first time I'm doing this. So yay! Okay. Mercury does go into Aries on the 13th. And like I said, he has been in Pisces and kind of like not being able, you probably haven't been able to find words for things. It's been easier to do things like this to show people. Like it's in the kitchen. Exactly. So, but when he moves into Aries, watch out. He is like, zing, baby. It's quick communication. It's direct. It's succinct. It's very much like, oh, I need to say this and I need to say it right now. Good ideas pop up in Aries. Quick initiating ideas, pioneering ideas, things you're like, I want this. Wait a minute, I have this idea. I'm going to do this and this and this. And I feel that you can ingest, like conversations will move quicker. You'll make very quick decisions. It's a very sharp place for Mercury to be. Of course, you can also, Aries don't really think a lot about consequence. They're just, their job, Aries' job is to be like, bing, let's go, let's get this out, follow me, everybody in line, follow me, let's go. And then eventually halfway through the trip, they're like, they'll probably the Virgo or like the Capricorn be like, hey, you brought the map, right? And then they'll finish the trail. But that's not their job. Aries' job is to initiate. So this is initiating energy, initiating thoughts, initiating writing, like thinking of, you can write some really good shit down. And it only lasts for a couple weeks because then Mercury moves into Taurus on the 31st. And that's fast. He is zipping through Aries. So you want to bring a notebook with you. If things come to your mind, write them down because things are going to be moving so fast until the 31st when he moves into Taurus. Now, Taurus is a very different sign than Aries. Taurus, when Mercury moves into Taurus, it's going to be more like, all right, I had all these ideas. How do I make them grow? How can I use persistence and patience to deliver this? It's like ruminating on thought, almost to the point where they ruminate too long. You might ruminate on these things for too long because you're getting too rigid. But you're going to just be more grounded. You're going to have more common sense by the end of the month, as opposed to like the middle of the month from the 13th to the 30th where you're just like, the ideas are just like this, the communication is like this. And then the 31st, everyone's going to take a little bit of a breath and learn how to like use a little bit more common sense as opposed to just like, this sounds good. Which is fine. You got to have all of it. You know what I mean? It's also one of those times where you're going to stick to more of the tried and true. Like, oh, I know this works if I do it this way. Therefore, I will do it this way, starting on the 31st. Now, from the 13th to the 31st will be the exact opposite. It'll be like, what can I do that's totally crazy and different? And then the 31st, that doesn't actually work. What's tried and true? I've got all these ideas. I've initiated all these ideas. And the 31st, what can I do to make this work? And you don't want to be too rigid. That's the only thing. You can tend to be a little too rigid. Mercury takes his time in Taurus. Okay. Great. And then Mars. Actually, no, I'm going to save the best for last. Mars moves into Taurus on the 9th. Great. Mars. So Mars is our planet of drive, our planet of aggression, our planet of initiation, but action. Mars is our action planet, you know what I mean? It's what we do, it's how we act. It's what drives us to act. Where your Mars is in your natal chart shows you how you initiate things, shows you how you act on things. So when Mars moves into Taurus, he's not exactly happy there. He's what they call in his detriment, and he's very stubborn, persistent, patient, stubborn. He's also very concerned about material things. So everything he does, he acts in the name of materialism or sex or earthy things. Taurus is earthy. So he does that too. It's assertive, but not quick. He's not quick. He slows down in Taurus and takes his time, which is good, but because Mars needs to tap the brakes a little bit. But when he's in Taurus, he's a little more, He's a little more bullheaded. He's a little more stubborn. You can't really change. No one's going to change anybody's mind with Mars and Taurus. It's rigid. It's a rigid sign, but it's assertive, so that's good. It's also a great time to defend something that you believe in, which I think is a pretty good thing, and also very relevant as to what's going on right now. So it's a great time probably to protest, because you're going to dig your heels in to really step up to whatever cause you're working toward, because it's going to be like trying to push a bull. You're not going to be able to move them because the drive is so much like this. But everybody's going to be feeling this. So no one's going to be willing to move. It could be a very stalemate time, actually, starting on the 31st. We shall see. And finally, the good news is the sun moves into Aries on the 20th. So happy birthday, Aries. It's Aries season. And it indicates the new astrological year. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac calendar. I was going to say astrological calendar. Both. So yeah, it's a great time of initiate, or because there's a Venus going retrograde, I wouldn't say initiate new relationships, but it's a good time to think about what you want to come from your year. How are you going to act this year to get what you want? I mean, there's so many new years, but I like using Aries as the astrological new year, kind of as the new year. There's like a zoom, and there's an Aries new moon, so it's like it really is a good time to plant some seeds about how you want to act, what's going to drive you through this next 12-month cycle. Yeah, so March, there's a lot happening. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff that we have to say, because it's the YouTube way. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon.